Hi guys, welcome back to F3, Filmmaker Feature Fridays, where we celebrate the work of our local, regional, diaspora filmmakers who are doing amazing things here at home, around the world. And we love on them because they are putting our stories, or authentic Jamaican stories, or authentic Caribbean stories at the center of their work. Because if we don't do it, if they don't do it, who else is going to do it? Our stories matter, and our local, believe it or not, is global. I am so super excited to introduce today's guest, the one and only, remarkable in every right, costume designer and wardrobe mistress, the one and only, Charle Baker. Charle Baker.
Natasha.
Oh, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for your yes.
Thanks.
And not only that, thank you for all you've been doing in this industry, because you have been doing this for a while, and you stick and you stay, and you are like a household name. I don't think there's any set I've been on, to be honest, that you have not been on in some capacity. But what struck me when you sent me your bio was the poetry of it all. Well, that and the other things that upon it. And I want to share some of that with you guys. So, first of all, she describes herself as a tree with many branches, an artist, a designer, a stylist, and a muralist. I never know she has so much something, but this is why we're introducing you to her, so you can know her in her full facets. All right, she says, art is just an extension of my soul. I truly believe I was born to create. I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. I continue to pursue creative endeavors, and my passion for the arts is the driving force behind my business, Studio 969. Hopefully we get to talk about that a little bit. Sure. So whether I am styling for the latest film, commercial, or music video, or creating a new look for an upcoming artist or an existing superstar, my signature is evident. I think of life as my ever-changing canvas, where fabric transforms to jewelry, and recycled materials and wires take root and become my tree of life. Nice. All of that poetry backed by the fact that to date you have worked on, in the capacity of costume designer, wardrobe mistress rather, you have worked on 20 to 30 short films. I'm just going to go off of the list of the your bio and your resume is a lot. And just to mention a few of the shorts that I am familiar with that you would have worked on. Key Love, that was Joshua's film. Yeah. You did Black Girl in the Ring, which was Saeed and Joshua's film. You did the trailer for Kendall, which was Gabby. You did Stinky Mango, which is Ina.
Still haven't seen that. Waiting for it patiently.
It is there. It is there. I know because I've been hearing the conversations. Yeah. And then you have been on almost every single Jafta propeller short. Almost. Like, I was looking at it and I'm like, wow, she's been doing a lot. And then you've also worked on Hulu's series Black Cake, which was shot last year. Well, parts of it were shot here last year, right? Or was it the year before?
Time flying.
Time flying. It was the year before. Yeah. You also worked on the year before to Get Millie Black. You've worked on feature films, some of the names that might come up for us. No Time to Die, that's a James Bond film. Yardi, Idris Elba. Destiny, Better Must Come.
Busy.
Woman. Ugh, I love it. I absolutely love it.
Thank you.
So we hear the term costume designer, wardrobe mistress, right? Talk to us a little bit about because I know it's not just putting clothes on people. So talk to us a little bit about what your role as a costume designer, and when you also serve as a wardrobe mistress, what does that involve,
Okay, so primarily as a costume designer, you would be creating the look for whatever the character is, if it's a short film, a feature, or even a commercial, because there's still costume designs within commercials, depending on what the actual content is. It's really reading what the treatment is, you know, whatever you've been given, or the script. You have to break out the characters, and then just understanding like the director's idea, the writer's vision, and just making it come to life, and just imagining like when I read, I kind of become the characters. Like I think, what would they wear? You know, you get all the information. How old are they? What time is it in? Because time frame is something as well. You know, what is the context of what they're doing? You know, the function, are there specific colors that they want or don't want? Because that's also another thing, element that is very critical. So it's just coming up with a look, an idea, and a concept for this character. So it's like just taking a deep dive into the person. You're getting to know the people before you really create something for them. Yeah. And then in terms of a wardrobe mistress, I mean, that's more an overarching title in that wardrobe mistress, you're basically responsible for the wardrobe. So not just designing, because you may have a costume designer who may not actually be on set and handling the wardrobe. The wardrobe mistress will make sure that the wardrobe is collected. If it's an ongoing thing, that it's cleaned, it's washed, it's put back into whatever scenes or for whatever character. So there's different responsibilities within designing and being a mistress. If you think of, you
mistress.
know, mistress.
Please put the wardrobe mistress right there.
Yes, because I am not a mistress in that category. Yes. Yeah. As they say, Jane of all trade, mistress of none and no one. Yes.
Oh, wonderful. Yes. Wonderful. So now, boom, we're going to hop over to our second segment of the show. That is Act 2, to have a little fun and play a little bindi game. Let's go.
All right.
So, Charle, in this segment, I'm going to give you 4 shot options to choose from, right? Each shot option is associated with a question.
Okay.
So when you choose a shot, you get a question.
Okay.
You're getting 4 or so questions in all, right?
All right.
Great. So you ready?
Ready.
You need another question. I'm good.
That's right. I'm ready.
So is your first choice going to be a close-up, a medium shot, a wide angle shot, or what we call a Dutch?
I'm going to say close up because we're close up.
Let's get close.
No. I break out in song too.
You know, I do it all the time.
Yes.
All right, so close up question, Charle.
Should I be nervous now?
No. Don't get nervous. What is the moment you realized that you wanted to be a costume designer or a wardrobe mistress, or you wanted to be in that space at all, particularly when it comes to film?
There's a Jamaican song that said, "Buck up in a."
I don't know that song, but
it's not to say buck up. Okay, let's take it back to school days, because literally I was going to be a pediatrician. Okay, you know, Jamaica, you have to be doctor, lawyer, Indian chief. What do you mean you're going to be an artist? You're going to be a creative. That's not allowed.
Yeah, that's not a thing.
Worse, I grew up with retired school teacher.
Oh.
But I went to school for fine arts, then I transferred into fashion. Because I've always been a twig, not that I'm a twig anymore.
You're a bigger twig.
Yeah, a branch. Got from twig to branch.
Branch.
And some parts are a trunk, but I am a tree. But seriously, I went into fashion, and then, you know, designing clothes. So I was always altering my clothes because I was always tall but slim. So if I get the length, the waist too big. If I get the waist, you have floods. I decided that I wanted to go into design to learn how to sew. When I went to school to audition, you know, because you had your interview, I had no clothing. And they're like, okay, where's your clothing? Where's your portfolio? Because I had all these pictures that I draw. I used to doodle in my school books all the time. So they're like, where's your clothes? I'm like, what clothes? They're like, yeah, the clothes that you've made, you know, that you've designed. And I'm like, that's why I'm coming to school. Y'all are going to teach me how to sew. And they said, okay, go outside. We need a minute. Go outside and we'll call you back. And I'm like, I go out the door and I'm thinking, I'm done. Like, I'm not getting into the school. Anyway, they called me back to say, lo and behold, that, okay, yeah, we really like you. You have to take a prerequisite, like a sewing course, because a lot of designers don't actually sew. Fast forward, I come back to Jamaica because I had gone back to Canada. I was sewing for people. I used to do custom work. So yes, I can sew, draft a pattern, create concept, cut, design, everything, start to finish. But that became very miserable working for people because again, our Jamaican landscape, everybody wants something, they don't want to pay for
Pay
it,
for
or you
it,
come and you
yeah.
get it and you go on the party and you say, I'll pay it next week, and next week never comes.
Never comes.
I'm not running down people. You go to the store, you pay your money, you get the clothes. So I come home, and then that whole outfit of them, which was Paul Buckner at the time, with Storm and his brother Niall and Joel Burke, and that whole camp of them, they started up doing stuff. They needed help because they were doing some short films. They needed wardrobe or costumes, but they knew that I sew. So, and they knew that I did that because at the time, Paul's wife, Kai, and I used to be at Pulse, like modeling, because that's a whole nother life again, too.
Ooh,
so they're
boy.
like, okay, Charle can sew, so get her. She can probably make it for you, because they needed like this cape. It was this thing. I said, yeah, man, that's easy. Just get fabric, boom, boom. They're like, oh, okay, we need you. So made them the cape. Everything went well. After that, then Paul says to me, oh, we're going to be doing this film. You know, do you want to do costume for us? I'm like, okay, what does it entail, really? I mean, you know, because you see films. And I'm like, okay, you want me to deal with a whole film? I say, all right, I can do that. And he's like, have you done it before? I'm like, no, but it's doable. It's just the same doing costume for one person, custom, but you're doing it for all these other people. I said, there'll be time to plan and prepare and stuff. And he says, yeah. I said, okay, let's go.
Wow.
And that's pretty much how I started in film. But I'd always been in fashion. I'd always been in creative pursuits. You know, in Canada, I'd helped friends with editorials. But that's literally how I buck up into film. And from I got into it, I've just been there. And it's just been word of mouth ever since. And it's just grown and taken off from there. And then the film branched into commercials, music videos, you know, personal styling, personal shopper, you name it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you have a long career as a designer, and a wardrobe designer. So I want to know, like, because the Jamaican film landscape can be tricky sometimes, can be very challenging sometimes. I want to know, in your experience, particularly in your capacity as a designer and a wardrobe mistress, what has been one of your most challenging experiences?
It sounds bad to say, but every situation can be a challenge because it comes down to budget. You know, there used to be that show, Lifestyle, the Rich and Famous, where you have caviar wishes and patty budget to satisfy those wishes.
Caviar wishes and patty budgets. Okay.
Yeah, so I think to me, that's always the challenge. Like, you know, you get $10 and you have to make it stretch. And it's your name to the brand or to the whole imagery, and you want it to look good. And 9 times out of 10, you get $10, but I bring whatever I have to the table, which sometimes is my extra accessories, other things. And they end up getting way more than they paid for. Yeah, so that's always the challenge. But it's finding the thing in the streets to satisfy the vision, because of course, you know, lovely Google and internet, you know, and they pull up all these lovely pictures of these great, you know, designer suits and stuff that they want that we don't have in Jamaica. And if we do have it, you don't have the money to buy it. You know what I mean?
I don't want to build it proper.
Exactly, or to make it. So, you know, or even the time frame. So the biggest challenge for me in terms of wardrobe, styling, everything in Jamaica is usually budget and time. And you always know at the 9th hour. I mean, you're in pre-production for 2 months and you find out who the talent is the day before or sometime the morning of, you know. So that's the biggest challenge.
Okay.
Yeah, time and money.
Time and money.
Yeah.
But I appreciate that you bring whatever additional resources you can to the table, because like you say, it's your work. It is evidence of you and your capacity. And you do great work.
Thank you.
I like that. Is your business Studio 969? It is, right?
That's right.
Is that tell us a bit about that?
Well, as you read in my bio, I said I was created to create. Like, I call myself a creative alchemist, and I am a tree. Like, I was created to create. So 969 is actually my birthday.
Oh, 9 of, come again?
Studio 969. 9 is the month and 69 is the year.
Is the year. Oh.
So you see that I'm just forever 21?
Oh my girl. Oh my. You find fountain near me, youth. I like that.
God is good to me. He's keeping me.
That's good. Yeah. So what the business does, it explores all your creative endeavors.
Yeah, so when I registered my business, I didn't want to just register as a stylist or for production, because as well, I am an artist. I make things, I paint, I do murals, I do my own work. And I'm very keen on recycling and repurposing things. So I'm just always, like, every time I look around, something is always something Like I enjoy making something out of nothing, you know.
Something is always
Yeah,
something. I just saw an image of that.
Yeah.
Boy, I want to shoot a scene where something is always something.
Yes.
Nice. Great. So 3 more choices. Medium, wide, Dutch.
Wide.
Let's go wide.
Wide shot.
Let's go wide. Catch yourself, Natasha. Let's talk about the Jamaica Screen Development Initiative, because you know it's still hot. It's still something that a lot of us are enthusiastic about. Some of us have mixed feelings. What are your thoughts around that? What are your expectations? What are your hopes? What are your reservations? What do you think it means for our industry? Talk to me.
For one, I'm glad it's here. It is long overdue. Every time we talk about funding, more and more when I see projects come here, it just reminds me that we have the goods. As a people, we're very talented. Jamaica is bursting at the seams with creativity, but we've just never had the resources. And a lot of the times, you know, you take nothing and make something. That same philosophy where you see where we have no budget, no nothing, but we're so creative because, you know, Jamaica, they say you have to take your hand to make fashion.
Fashion,
right?
yeah.
So when I see what we can put out with very little resources, much less the idea of having funding to back the vision, to tell our stories, because we need to tell our stories and we have so many different stories to tell. So for me, I'm excited about that aspect of it. I'm excited that, you know, even though I think the government at large or the powers.
The government at large.
And I tread carefully. I'm not a green people or orange people. Let's just declare that. I'm just a people for a better Jamaica. And I think the Film Fund will enhance our industry. That has been long in coming. We're growing. There's so much more to go, more to grow. Hopefully it will get other people to invest as well. It'll give more players in the field a chance to tell their story. Yeah, it's just vital. I mean, we do need funding. Money isn't the be-all and end-all because, you know, you will find creative ways. But we need the funding. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I think a lot of people looking on, they don't understand all the moving parts of film.
Yes, that is so true.
And sometimes, you know, you'll say, oh, so much money for that. Yeah, it costs money. You know what I mean? And it's ironic because, you know, we got to, again, it's the whole doctor, lawyer, Indian chief syndrome. You know, you go to a doctor and the doctor say, 2 seconds and you have to pay them.
Yes.
You as an artist, you sit there for hours and you pay them. They go, for that?
Yeah.
Yes, for that. And you're not just paying for the hours, but you're still paying for my years of training and my expertise. You know what I mean? So I'm excited about it. And I think that we're going to see a shift in the landscape of what's coming out. You know?
A couple things. Good. Wonderful. A couple things. When you say about how, you know, we go into these specialists, the traditional careers, and if there says X amount of money for it, we fork out what money we pay, right? I had to go to the specialist last year, right? And the specialist sent me for 5 minutes, and it's a whole lot of money. Yeah. And I'm like, Natasha, the next time somebody comes to you about consulting as a screenwriter, just talk your money. Don't play with it. Just talk your money. You have to take it as seriously as any other profession because you too has spent the years. And yes, I have many more years to go of experiential years and more learning years and everything. Yeah. But yeah. And another thing you mentioned, this idea that people who are not necessarily au fait with the inner workings of the industry, they will hear the $1 billion of the funding for the JSDI. They will hear that and they will think, oh my gosh, that's so much money. And it is a significant amount of money. But when you compare it to the US dollar, and most of the equipment and everything that we have to purchase is in US. And 1 billion Jamaican dollars is what? 6 million US dollar? I know that them use make feature film in a US,
exactly.
By the way.
If you're lucky, that's like 5 big projects.
Yeah, but it is still a major
definitely
major contributing factor, and it's going to fill a tremendous gap in our industry.
Definitely.
So I too am excited about what this fund coming on stream is gonna do for us as filmmakers. Is gonna do for our industry.
Definitely.
Boom.
Definitely.
All right. Now we have medium and Dutch.
All right, medium.
If you had the choice, and I feel like you do, to work with any local filmmaker or any Jamaican filmmaker working locally, regionally, globally, in your role as a costume designer, who would you want to work with?
Oh, wow. I feel like I have worked with so many people. And who would I want to work with?
Who would you want to work with who you haven't yet worked with?
That's a hard one because I don't know who. I feel like I really have worked with just about everybody. Like anybody you could like call any name and I'll tell you if I've worked with them. Like I feel like I've worked with I mean, there's a lot of young people that are coming up that I don't know of, obviously, that I probably have never worked with. But I mean, all the big names I can think of, I worked with all of them.
So give me some big name then.
Okay, so even Chris Brownie, worked with Chris. In terms of Carlene and Jay Will's camp, I've worked with them. All of the Storm, the Nile, all of them guys, I've worked with them. Gabby, I've done stuff with Gabby, Girl Boss. Ina, I mean, she's nomads as actors, but then Sheppy was part director or part writer with Stinky Mango, you mentioned, which I'm still dying to see. Brian Sanjuice. Chappie, God rest his soul, Chappie's passed, worked with Chappie. Mark Gentles, worked with Mark Gentles.
All right.
I feel like I've worked.
I feel like, and that's a testament to like the kind of work you do, because if you did not do great work, you would not have had opportunity to work with all of these people. So let's throw it out even a little bit wider then. Which filmmaker, be it director, don't even have to be Caribbean, don't even have to be Jamaican at this point, but is there a dream director, a dream filmmaker that you go, boy, I would love to work on a film that that person is doing?
Oh gosh, anybody, but I guess if I switch gears from my department, more costume. I mean, Ruth Carter, hello. Like if I switch it to costume, for costume design, because I mean, I'll work with any director. Even if you're just starting your first film or you've done, you know, Hollywood blockbuster. Like to me, I feel like I've worked with vast and varied, you know what I mean? There's so many people that I respect, their eye, their vision, their style. But for me, my desire right now, my quest is probably to work with like a Ruth Carter for costume, or even Antoinette Messam, who she's like a Canadian Jamaican. We kind of have similar backgrounds, but she's doing big things now and being awarded for her work. Okay. So for me, it would be a desire to work with you know, foreign costume designers. Yeah. Okay,
so Ken, you mentioned two important names. For the purpose of our audience who may not be familiar with their names, what are some of the things that they would have worked on that we could that we would know?
Okay, so Ruth Carter is like you know, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, Selma. Oh my gosh. There's lots of them. And then Antoinette Messam just did The Harder They Fall, you know, like Black Western.
That's still on Netflix, right?
I think so. Yeah. Currently on Netflix, that's new, is Lift. I mean, that's a more regular, you know, kind of more played down costume. Like it's not fantasy, it's just everyday wear, but still, I mean, I respect her in that I know her, we're fellow Canadians / Jamaicans, but just seeing her grow and her progress, like it's exciting. You know, I'm excited for her and what's been happening. So I would love to work with her.
Nice.
Yeah.
And if somehow this comes across their field of vision or their heirs,
call me.
Charle Baker.
Call me.
For the job, okay? Okay, guys. This is a little bit of on a tangent, but like I'm interested to know a little bit more about the Canadian Jamaican situation.
I'm Canadian born, but Jamaican made. So I was born in Canada, but I came here about 18 months old. I grew up here, went back just, you know, late 70s mass exodus when everyone was leaving. My dad took us back to Canada. School, studied there. By the time I graduated from university, came back home, went back, come back. No, I'm not confused, but Jamaica's just home. Jamaica's under my skin. I can't stay away. I mean, right now I'm ready to jump off. I'd love to just go somewhere for a while, maybe go work on a foreign job somewhere. It'd be great. But Jamaica's home.
So there's been a recent, but not surprising, surge of the role of AI in filmmaking, right? I'm sure it's a conversation that you've heard. Maybe it's a conversation that you've even had yourself. But like, what are your thoughts around the role of AI in filmmaking, and even more specifically, how do you see it affecting, whether that be in a good way or a bad way, what you do as a costume designer?
Okay, so I am still very old school. I'm a pen and paper girl. I mean, yes, I'm with technology to some extent, but part of it kind of freaks me out. It's a little scary. In that, yes, I know we have to embrace technology and there's great things that it can do, but I feel like it's going to just cut a lot of us out, you know? And I think it's great. Technology is great. And, you know, we have to embrace it. You know, if you don't keep up, you'll be left behind. So I understand that you still have to learn and keep current. I mean, that's something that I think applies to everything across the board in your life. But AI is, I think it will be a beast in that how you deal with it is how it will deal with you. You know what I mean? And I can see where, like, even if I speak from an art standpoint, you know, like for me to sit and paint something, the time that it's going to take me to do that, and then I'll charge a client, but somebody can just come out in AI, whoop,
So
done.
prompt, yeah.
And they've done, make a piece, make a print, sell it, gone about their business, and I'm still waiting for the paint on the wall to dry before I can apply the next color. So in terms of time, it's going to speed things up. I mean, life is moving so much faster now anyway, and I don't know, maybe I kind of like a slower pace a little bit.
Slower. You like the chillness
Yeah,
of the Jamaican or the traditional Jamaican experience.
I like the choice of being able to go fast or go slow. And I feel like it's going to be at a speed where if you really don't keep up, you're going to be left behind. And I think too with AI, I mean, some of it I think is a little bit unrealistic in that, you know, you can create these decks or these images, but then when it translates to wardrobe, you know, okay, you know, sometimes you present a deck to a client and it's like, okay, it's easy to do this or create that. But again, going out to the store to find it. But then if you don't even need that anymore, then where's my job? I don't have a job anymore. So I feel like it's going to replace a lot of people's jobs. You know, so there's that fear, there's that threat.
There's that
Yeah.
trepidation.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, there's that, and there's the fact that it will cause a lot of us to rethink
How
or
we do things.
how we
Yeah.
do things.
Definitely.
And like you said, if we don't keep up, we're gonna get left behind. I think there is a benefit to understanding what AI, the capacities
What
of
it
AI
can do.
in
Yeah.
respect to our various roles or our capacities.
Yeah.
But we shall not be replaced.
Well, I don't know. Right now, you know, your phones are doing all these things
All
that,
these things.
you
I'm
know.
going to tell you. I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
All right. So now we're going to do today's F3 Filmmaker Challenge. Are you ready?
I'm
You need to
ready.
stop singing.
I'm ready. Sing, man,
All right.
sing.
So you are a costume designer.
Yeah.
Yes? It means you
Stylist, designer.
style, you create from a blank canvas something magical. So we have a muse here. Meet the
Muse.
Asmahani muse. And your prompt is, I'm going to give you a thematic prompt. And then I had asked you to bring 4 pieces. And then you're going to pull from all the 4 pieces. And you're going to turn
Her into something or someone
her
else.
into a 70s Jamaican vixen. A
All
vixen
right, we
Jamaica?
can do that. That we can do.
Vixen.
Yes.
Yes?
All right. Yeah. A bit more 70s kind of vibe thing, no sleeves, the high little turtleneck, and then the color combos. They did a lot of like secondary and tertiary colors, so more muted, like a more subdued color palette. No neon, no shocking light. That's all later 80s, 90s changing. And then of course your little velvet flat cap or a poor boy cap is what it's called. So a lot of things too. Sometimes you can just pop an accessory on it to change a look. So this isn't quite the skirt. The big part of stuff on set is problem solving. Sometimes you don't have the resources and you have to make something out of nothing. So this, I'm going to make a top out of a chain and a scarf. So there's lots of hacks to see online. So it's really simple. So we're going to do this. We're going to wrap this around. We're going to pin it. Because sometimes you're on set and they need something else and you don't have something else and you have to just take two things, make something.
Charle, I really loved what you did with that 70s look. You really created something from nothing, and how you were talking us through why you made the choices that you made, and you were explaining the different things. I really loved watching you do that, and really loved seeing what was our plain character come to life. I know this happened like off main cam and everything, but in our banter while you were doing the challenge, one of the things that came up is that costume designing entails a lot of problem solving, because you will be on set and something not working out and you literally have to draw things and stitch things together and whatnot. And so while we're doing the initial challenge, we also gave her the challenge of fixing a problem on set. Something happened on set, you don't have the costumes that you're supposed to have, or you probably never know you're supposed to carry it, because some of those decisions are made like last minute. So you guys saw it, you saw the look, you saw how she solved the problem. Let us know what you think in the comments. Charle, it's been real. It's been really great having you. We're wrapping it up now. When you think of your career, the future of your career, when you think of success, what does that look like for you? What is success for you?
That's an interesting question, because success is relative. Someone may look at me and say, oh, you know, you've had a successful career, and I don't feel that way sometimes, because I feel like there's always more. And for me, success really is to leave some kind of legacy, but as well to, I know we hear pay it forward, but if I can impact another life or another individual to pursue their dream, or to really take this career as a serious profession, because I think I was so indoctrinated to, oh, you're artist, stabbing artist, what, you're not a doctor, lawyer, Indian chief. It's that mindset still, because even though we have so many more creative industries, like, you know, now, and so many more creative professions, there is still this stigma attached to being an artist. And I think within production, within this industry, it is an art form. You know, everything in life, I think, is art. I mean, art is a part of every aspect of our lives, and a lot of times we don't see that. So for me, the success is to inspire, if it's even one other person, to follow that dream of being a creative, because society looks down on you to some regard. I mean, it's changing now.
Yes,
but for me, the success would be to know that I've made an impact to just encourage someone to pursue their dream, and to believe in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else will. You know, and I mean, I'm talking about going against even the wishes of your parents. Because initially my father was like, what? You're going to be an artist? Okay, you can take yourself to school. Like, he did not put me through school. I had to put myself through school between a student loan and grants and funding, because I wasn't going to be a pediatrician anymore. But if I had listened to that, I think how different my life would have been. Maybe I would have been a successful pediatrician, but would I have been happy? Would I have really pursued my dream? Would I have done the thing that gives me joy and gives me fulfillment? And I think being a creative, as I said, I was created to create. Like, there's a time when, you know, I didn't create. I mean, I took time off, but I mean, there was so much happening, but I think my headspace was as such that I could not create because I was not well. You know, we talk about mental health in different ways, but I think life was just lifing.
Yeah.
And that I realized that creating is such a part of me, you know, and when you're off kilter, then that creative process either slows down or comes to a halt, you know what I mean? So for me, success is to inspire and motivate any other individual, man, woman, and child, to pursue your dream, to, you know, forget about what anybody says, just know who you are and what you want and be about that. And that, you know, don't give up. Like, you know, you may not see the success overnight, because is it Kobe Bryant or whoever that, you know, says whatever, his shooting, whatever, the success, it took how many tries, you know, it's not a one-shot thing, you have to keep at it. You know, and that, yeah, just keep going. You know, it's not over till it's over. So for me, I'm still not successful, because there's more to come. I'm waiting for the phone to ring for the next project.
Okay, but you're very correct in saying success is relative, which is why I say what is success to you, not like what it would be for other people to see you as successful.
Right.
And I think it's beautiful that your hope is that to inspire someone else to pursue their career in art, considering the jaded nature of pursuing art as a career in our culture. But one of the hopeful things about that is that now everybody, well, not everybody, but most people are really championing the orange economy.
Definitely.
Because they're seeing just how beneficial it is and how much we actually contribute to the country's economy.
Yeah.
So wonderful.
I mean, you know, this industry, everybody wants to see their name in lights. And there is that, you know, when you see your name scroll through the credits, there's that. But again, to leave the legacy, I mean, I guess I've seen my name in lights in terms of credits rolling or even my name on a wall, like contributions to murals across the city. So that's another creative side. But, you know, so you could say that that's success. But again, for me, it's just being able to inspire people to say, okay, art is a real profession and don't let anybody stop you from pursuing that thing that you want to do. You know?
And another thing you mentioned was about being happy.
Yeah.
A part of success for you is being happy doing what you're doing.
living the life that you love and love the life you live. Because I think so many people are
There's
not.
a song.
Yeah,
Come
exactly.
Charle, there's a song.
Do it for the life you live. Or live the life you love.
All right,
Which one? There's so many.
Both of us don't know that song.
Which one? But
okay.
yeah, I think it's important because so many of us spend, you know, countless hours doing jobs that we hate. So for me, success is getting paid to do what I love.
What you love.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah. Getting paid to do what you love. Do what you love. Do.
Yeah, that's success.
Anything else is just miserable.
Exactly. And why do
Anything
it?
else.
Life is too short.
Yeah. And I know you are, in some respect, encouraging people to, you know, or creatives to don't give up, to press on and whatnot. And that is definitely one piece of advice you could give them. But if you were to give an aspiring costume designer or wardrobe mistress some kind of advice, aside from never give up,
Right.
what would that be?
Stay current, but read. A lot of our people, we don't like to read. Like costume and stuff requires research. You know, read, like do the homework, read. Sometimes people will come to set for something, like I don't want to say what the project is because then it's going to highlight, pinpoint. But, you know, somebody will want to say XYZ from the 70s or the 80s. But it's like, okay, if you didn't live in the era, how would you know? You have to look it up. You have to research. You know, and sometimes people come on set who are younger that weren't even born in that generation and they want to say XYZ. I'm like, that wasn't around then. You know, so do the work, put in the research. So yes, Google and internet is there, but in terms of wardrobe and styling, you have to kind of know what the trends are for current things. But again, you get called for stuff, period. Like you have to know the 50s different from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, coming all the way up. And what would have been around, and just even silhouettes. Like it's you know, learning garments, learning colors. It's kind of like all encompassing. It's like even if you're a food stylist, some people think, okay, you don't have to know how to cook, but you kind of do. You kind of do have to know how to cook, you know what I mean? And you kind of have to know how something is supposed to look. So it's the same with wardrobe. I can't dress someone for the 70s if I don't know what the 70s look like. If I say, okay, I want someone from the roaring 20s, obviously we weren't around then. Half of those people are all dead. Everybody's dead. I doubt anybody's alive from in the 20s. But what did that period look like? Research, read. You know, so educate yourself. You know, University of YouTube, Google. There's a lot out there.
There's a lot there. And if you want to go and study formally, go and do that
Definitely.
too. But do it. Back up the doing with the research, with the studying, because it's not a hurry come up thing.
No.
And do the thing. Do the thing.
Do the thing.
Charle.
Yes.
Madame Grace.
Thank you, Natasha.
Thank you so
It's been a pleasure.
much. And that is a wrap on this episode of F3 Filmmaker Feature Fridays. Our guest today was the remarkable costume designer and wardrobe mistress, Charle Baker. We had a really, really great conversation. And don't forget to follow Charle at charleb_art or at Baker's Goods on social. She goes by Charle Baker on Facebook. Here at F3, we love celebrating filmmakers like Charle, local filmmakers, regional filmmakers, diaspora filmmakers who are doing amazing work, whether it be here at home or abroad. We especially love that they are taking our stories, our unique stories, our personal stories, and they're sharing it with the world because our stories matter. Thank you all for being here and see you at the next episode. Love you. Tools.